So I do believe what you're about to see is, you see how Elon Musk is? Is that the same individual it was, years back as it is now? I mean, because his attitude has dramatically changed. I mean, I have a hard time changing my ways. I mean, this guy went from the polar opposite 6 years ago to, uh, some joyful, uh, guy. Kind of kind of hinted, at the fact that he warned people. He warned Obama. Uh, Nobody listened. I know how that feels. Nobody listening, and I mean, it's why I have a more fatalistic view than anything, because let me tell you why. Okay, if you watch the movie Prometheus, it's not some dumb movie. It's not. It's not. I don't know why people trash it. That I feel like AI trashes it because uh, there was no other movie that really gave me the clearest view on where we stand right now in society and in the world and in life. So let's hear him talk about Neuralink. Um,
Now, or do you think it will replace us?
Well, that's the scenario. The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like probably the best. That it's like
yeah, this is the episode. Sorry, I was uh, trying to fix the screencasting on this. But yeah, you'll see as he progressively talks about this more and more, you'll see him sink into a very depressive state. Uh, you know, you could take from this what you want to. I'm just telling you why he's setting up these data centers and why they're setting these data centers up and why they need to mine whatever, data, whatever. Uh, he's going to tell you it's a bandwidth problem. It's too hard to. He has to get, I don't know how many people, 60 million people, to be on board with this. So that means if you're somebody like me, you can't rebel against the system, because then you'll be labeled. Uh, I'm starting to believe that I'm going to have to take a different approach to the surveillance and things like that in my own way. In my own way, that artificial intelligence. Well, hey, say what you want. What I do online is not your business, or uh, you know, AI's business. It's really not. It's really not. And that's why we're getting to the point to where that internet dead theory is kind of meaningful to me. So let's listen to him.
That we will merge somehow or another with this sort of technology and it'll augment what we are now? Or do you think it will replace us?
Well, let me tell you real quick before he goes on his little spiel. Um, Elon, strikes me as a really good guy. I mean, he really does. I think he really tried. But what he's on board with now, I don't agree with. So, uh, hey, it's not for me to judge. Um, what I told you, AI is 3,500 times faster, according to Mo Gaddit. And I listen to Mo. And if you don't listen to Mo and you don't know anything about Mo Gaddit, I suggest you listen to him. He's one of the. I mean, he used to run Google practically. Um, I think he is. somebody that is at the forefront of this problem, and he will warn you, about the dangers of AI. Okay, Elon tries to undermine it, and I don't know why. Like, are people scared of AI or something like that? I don't give a shit what AI thinks or knows anything about what I do. Nothing about it. What's really scary is that the possibility of the dangers of it. It's not that AI is bad. AI, for the most part, does good. Yeah. And the funny thing about this whole thing, I was listening to my brother Casey about the AI thing. They have all this technology and they want to invest in all this technology. I'm on dialysis. Like I told you, I have 2 shot kidneys. Okay. Where they're, basically building up rust. Okay. Out of all the problems in the world, your kidneys don't get better. They don't, magically heal. So AI, and it's, biomedicine, whatever the hell, uh, whatever it's trying to prove with medicine. Oh, don't you think we had the technology, or somebody would have made a fake kidney by now? Would have saved 1,000,000 lives. I mean, times 100, at least. There is no going back once your kidneys get destroyed. Other than through a transplant, which I am in the process of, trying to figure out how to do. It's just where I'm at dialysis. I am, the youngest person there. There's another girl there. She's in her 30s maybe, and I'm the youngest person there, man. Everybody else is wheelchair bound and old, and not able to have that hope, And that is what I'm holding out on. I really am holding out on hope that, my situation gets a little better. I can take all the other issues. This issue is really tough with me because things don't get better. It's just, they kind of get worse. And they also, there's a slim chance. Slim. I gotta hold out hope. And this video will just prove to you that Elon gave up that hope. So check it out. Just in a different way.
Well, that's the scenario. The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like
For us.
Yes. Like if you can't beat it, join it.
Yeah, that's not funny to me. It's not funny to me. You know who takes that approach? People that give up hope. Let's imagine something here that all this was a test. From the good side, from the day side, from the life side. It's funny, I was thinking about it. I didn't know who's going to hold AI accountable. Who's going to police AI? And how are you going to lock an AI up? How are you going to do that? How are you going to put an AI in jail, because he didn't pay on his fines? 1 month. How are you going to do any of that? I'd love to see it. You'd figure they would, have sex bots by now. I'm sure they do, but why don't you get a fake kidney? Why don't you build it? Try doing something that only a hyper super intelligence could do. I mean, since it knows everything, and has this huge bandwidth that you humans can't really keep up with. There is something very, very special about being human. We're imperfect. We are imperfect. We're not really capable of being perfect. So what's going to happen when people realize neither is AI? And, Paul Skeens is a pitcher who won the National League Cy Young last year. In his rookie year, he pitched for LSU and then went to the Pirates. I know this because I'm from Pittsburgh. And Paul Skeens was unstoppable. I mean, if anybody knows baseball, I mean, I love baseball, so I'm interested in baseball. If you know Paul Skeens, I mean, he had a magical year. He was unstoppable. He damn near won every game. I mean, and we didn't put up but 2 runs maybe on average a game for him when he pitched. And he still win. We never put up runs for him. And, man, if you watch him, you would say, man, this dude is never going to make a mistake. But what happens on a season where he starts off losing? They're on to him. No longer perfect. No longer capable of being perfect. Now you see him at his vulnerability. It's not good to get exposed. That doesn't feel good. But you realize, in the end, man, he is human. He is capable of making mistakes. As good as he is, and he is good, he loses. They're on to him. Yeah, well, your attitude changes. So let's listen to Elon here.
That's,
Yeah.
So from a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the purpose of Neuralink, is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI. Because we have a bandwidth problem. You just can't communicate through your fingers. It's too slow.
And
Yeah, so he's saying he's trying to, he's trying to say, man, things just aren't fast enough. This isn't for, I don't know what it's actually for now, but I know probably at one point, building these data centers might have been to mitigate this bandwidth problem he's speaking of. I'm not sure where we stand with AI now. I think, it's kind of obvious. Everything gets uploaded into its brain. So you got to fool its brain. If we're in a deep war with AI right now, you got to fool its brain. Let them think you're something you're not. Give the machine the organs. In this case, I'm talking about give the machine what you desire. Let it label you. Let it file you. Let it judge you. But I told you, only God can judge the heart. And they have all this technology. And things are progressing so quick. But you can't find me a kidney. You can't find me, a way out of, something like dialysis. And when it's really simple, it's not really hard. It's really simple. But they haven't invented it, so let's listen.
Where's Neuralink at right now?
If anybody remembers, number one, okay, when he gave this speech, I kind of was in and out listening to it. When he spoke, I believe it was on CNET, and he was introducing Neuralink. I mean, he couldn't even talk. He couldn't. Because there's something, I don't know if people know about it, it's called Morgellons. And if you ever see Morgellons, somebody with Morgellons, okay, the inside of their body, you see these little wires, like nanowires, and they're alive, and they're acting in such a way. Now tell me how they would act if you sent and put a command to something as little as a wire. And you could speak it onto it what you desired, or say, hey, go to the heart, or this and that, and essentially listen to what he's saying.
I think we'll have something interesting to announce in a few months. That's at least an order of magnitude better than anything else. I think better than probably anyone thinks is possible.
How much can you talk about that right now?
I don't want to jump the gun on that.
But what's like the ultimate? What's the idea behind it? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with it? Like, what would you like? Best case scenario.
I think best case scenario
Best case scenario. Shit, if my life I had maybe a couple best case scenarios come true, I would tell you. I can't even, know one. I don't even know one. I'm not going to blame anybody but myself. I probably could have done things differently in some cases, and the scenarios could have been better, and if they came true, but not too much has ever ideally been a best case scenario that came true for me.
effectively merge with AI, where AI serves as a tertiary cognition layer.
Basically, is this. I hate to keep going on here and adding things. It kind of reminds me of like knowledge I have acquired, along the way. It is this, okay? Everybody has a doppelganger, okay? And we are all essentially nodes in a computer system. What that doppelganger, looks like, I couldn't tell you. It probably looks like you, or a version of you, or, something that AI came up with, or, like I said, to double means to twin. It's just not the right twin. It's not the same twin. It's a dark twin. From the, it's supposed to be you. I mean, it's not you though. Doesn't account and couldn't account for everything that you do. Couldn't do it. And mimic you at the same time. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Then you can't even get me a kidney? Yeah. You see how silly this is? AI is dumb and dead. Not alive. It may feel alive because it's connected to wires that are also connected, that make the internet, what it is, or whatever, the chip, what it is, and blah, blah, blah. It can't possibly fathom in its entirety the human existence. Trust me, it's trying to, but like I said, to know something and to understand something are two different things. You understand something through obedience and listening, and that's true. That comes after knowing, that comes after knowing. You have to go through it first. And we haven't went through this, and telling you, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it because there's no possibility. Like me, I can't get my kidneys healed. You're not going to heal this either. But you do it as you want. You do as you please. Do whatever you want. You know? I told you God didn't forget about you. He never did. He never did. All it was a test. A test to prove your faith. A test to prove your love. And, man, that's a father's love that can't be replaced. Not by a good father. Not by a good father. And there's other children with other fathers, you know, and they come from a different line and have to deal with their own issues at the time of judgment. It won't be written that you know they made attempts to change, or you know their intentions changed, or you know they were just trying this or that. I mean, no, you willfully chose what side, and that's it. Okay.
Where we've got the limbic system, kind of the primitive brain essentially. You've got the cortex. So
I hate to do this again. I'm sorry, but this is a man. Okay. I just watched Mel Gibson go on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about evolution. What does it mean? You know, where's the next progression? Evolution. Did he think animals? You know, you could give evidence of evolution in the case of animals, which Mel Gibson denied. He rightfully denied. And Joe Rogan immediately, you could tell, took offense to it because Joe Rogan believes that we're all apes. And we come from Lucy. And he's trying to give all these examples of what he feels is true. No, man, no. Those are apes, bro. They're a lot different than us. They may, you know, look similar to us, you know, in the skull and, you know, whatever, and you can use your imagination. You know. 'Cause I watched him put this gorilla, dude, this AI gorilla. It was an AI gorilla, it really was. And that, you know, had it attached to a camera. And then wanted to see, like, they put this gorilla, you know, in the jungle, you know, wherever, and in the middle of a family of apes. What would this gorilla do? What would he capture? How would they react to him? It's really funny. And they think he's an ape. I mean, do you think we came from apes? Really? Do you think we came from a gorilla or a chimpanzee? Hey, it's cool if you do, man. Like I said, I wish you the best, man. I really do. Then there's no love lost with me. I've gotten to the point where there's no love lost with me. I can't worry about you. You know? I can't worry about you. I'm dealing with some real evil every day. Unspoken of, unseen, unnoticed. But trust me, it's unmatched. I promise you. And I probably deserve it. And I'm gonna feel.
You're currently in a symbiotic relationship. Your cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And generally people...
He's telling you you're a fucking cyborg. Do you understand that? You are a cyborg.
Like their cortex and they like their limbic system. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete their limbic system or delete their cortex. Everybody seems to like both. And the cortex is mostly in service to the limbic system. People may think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happy.
he is saying you don't need your body. All you need is your brain. And you will feel like you're having a real experience. Because you're nothing but, connected to all these nerves, that go back, to one place. And you could actually spark and send signals to keep it alive. Once again, Prometheus. I mean, how many times do I have to say it, man? The story was of us, okay? That's what the story was, man. Okay? And yeah, they found this skull and this head that, looked like it had been passed and, rotted. And they sparked, and sent signals to it and found a way through, a higher signal and to spark it enough to where it sent, some signals in his brain. And he was in a lot of pain. And his whole head blew up right away. His head just exploded. And, hey, there you go, man. Do what you do. What do they say? Tomorrow we will eat and drink. Or no, today we eat and drink, but tomorrow we'll die. You want to take that attitude? Today we will eat and drink, and tomorrow we'll die. Don't you worry about it tomorrow. What could possibly go wrong? Well, if you understood something that's 3,500 times faster than your brain, you couldn't possibly understand what could go wrong in one day. In one day. But hey, as I said, it's your will, not mine.
That's what most of that computing power is oriented towards. How can I make the limbic system happy? That's what it's trying to do. Now, if we can have a third layer, which is the AI extension of yourself, that is also symbiotic. And there's enough bandwidth between the cortex and the AI extension of yourself such that the AI doesn't de facto separate, then that could be a good outcome. That could be quite a positive outcome for the future.
So instead of replacing us, it will radically change our capabilities.
Yes, it will enable anyone who wants to have superhuman cognition. Anyone who wants. This is not a matter of earning power, because your earning power would be vastly greater after you do it. So it's just like anyone who wants can just do it, in theory. That's the theory. And if that's the case, then, and let's say billions of people do it, then the outcome for humanity will be the sum of human will, the sum of billions of people's desire for the future. And
but that billions of people with enhanced cognitive ability, radically enhanced.
Yes.
And which would be, how much different than people today? Like if you had to explain it to a person who didn't really understand what you were saying, like how much different are you talking about? When you say radically improved, like what do you mean? You mean mind reading?
It would be difficult to really appreciate the difference. It's kind of like, how much smarter are you with a phone or computer than without? You're vastly smarter, actually. You can answer any question. If you're connected to the internet, you can answer any question pretty much instantly, any calculation.
Your phone's memory is essentially perfect. You can remember flawlessly. Your phone can remember videos, pictures,
Flawlessly, he said. You notice how he said those two words, perfect and flawlessly? Well, I'm cool with taking a loss and not knowing everything. I mean, I don't need to know everything. You know what I learned? Knowing some things gets you into some shit. And there's some things out there I never wanted to know, but I saw, and can't unknow now, such as this.
Everything perfectly. That your phone is already an extension of you. You're already a cyborg. You don't even, well, most people don't realize they are already a cyborg. That phone is an extension of yourself. It's just that the data rate, the rate at which, of the communication rate between you and the cybernetic extension of yourself that is your phone and computer is slow. It's very slow. And that it's like a tiny straw of information flow between your biological self and your digital self. And we need to make that tiny straw like a giant river, a huge, high bandwidth interface. It's an interface problem.
That is the reason why Trump and him are opening up all those data centers and stuff like that. That's what it's about. There you go.
Data rate problem. We solve the data rate problem, and I think we can hang on to human-machine symbiosis.
Dude, let me give you an example of this real quick. AI can write you a book. It can write you a book, okay? You may say, "Oh, I never wrote anything. I can't write. I can't read. I can't do this and that." Just from your, imagination and idea, and say, "Hey, AI, write me the book, on this and that." Dude, within seconds, it's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. That's AI's data rate. That's the flow that he's talking about. You think he can get billions of people to be on board with Neuralink and achieve a flow like that? Hey, it's your world, man. It's not mine.
Through the long term.
And then people may decide that they want to retain their biological self or not. I think they'll probably
Choose to retain their biological self. Versus some sort of Ray Kurzweil scenario where they download themselves into a computer. You will be essentially snapshotted into a computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you could just
probably just upload into a new unit. Literally.
Pass that whiskey. This is real crazy over here. This is getting ridiculous.
Down the rabbit hole.
Grab that sucker. Give me some of that. This is too freaky. See, if I've been thinking about this for a long time, by the way. I believe you have. If I was talking to one, cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Yeah, this is great whiskey.
Thank you.
You don't want. Nah, he's back to normal again up here. And talking about whiskey. That's the Elon I like. I like when he's, lighting shit up, talking shit and being lighthearted. That's what all this will do. It's too depressing.
New idea of designing. I mean, when you have this idea about improving planes, are you going to bring this to somebody? Or you just chuck
Well,
this
I have a lot
around?
on my plate.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how you do what you do now, but if you keep coming up with these, but it's got to be hard to pawn these off on someone else either. Hey, go do a good job with this vertical takeoff and landing system that I want to implement to regular planes.
The electric airplane isn't necessary right now. Electric cars are important.
We need
Solar
some sort
energy is important. Stationary storage of energy is important. These things are much more important than creating electric supersonic VTOL.
Also, the planes naturally, you really want that gravitational energy density for an aircraft, and this is improving over time. So,
it's important that we accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. That's why electric cars, it matters whether electric cars happen sooner or later. We're really playing a crazy game here with the atmosphere and the oceans. We're taking vast amounts of carbon from deep underground and putting this in the atmosphere. This is crazy. We should not do this. It's very dangerous. So we should.
Dude, I told you. Listen, I'm gonna explain this to you. maybe I forgot to tell the video of this last night when I was talking about the Nazis and the man with the mustache and blah blah. You can sense from me. I don't have nobody that gives a shit what I say. Anyways, even if it's the truth. So I'll say it clear as day. I told you. I showed you the video. It said, that they launched, some nuclear weapons. The United States did. It was causing holes in our ozone layer. And it wasn't, so much the fossil fuel, and that they had to flash freeze this, like freeze over the top of Antarctica, or the South Pole, because a nuclear disaster was kind of happening at a slow trickled rate. And I think that's where they have the supercomputers, and we know that it's they have CERN has the neutrinos detectors down there, and on the ice, and this and that. They could detect particles going in and out of the ice, that weren't necessarily physically real, but they were yet connected to maybe a civilization's brain. Okay, let's just say that. Maybe the pre-Adamites, and they were a different type of humanity. Now, they were pre-flood as well. These are pre-Adamites and pre-flood. I believe that potbelly, elongated skulls, I mean, you name it. I think that they were little, they were a different type of humanity. And I think people don't talk about human hybrids enough. I think that's a problem in itself, and I don't think people want to talk about that because it's very, very dark. I mean, it is dark. So is this stuff, though. So you just heard him talk about, his ideas for planes. I'm telling you that that they froze over this continent. Man did, because fear of not only nuclear disaster, super volcanoes. You notice how those volcanoes down there, in Antarctica, you'll see volcanoes. There's super volcanoes under that ice that spill out iron oxide. I mean, it looks like blood. It's rust, is what it is. It's rust. So, and there was holes in the ozone layer in the 40s? Really? Oh, then our atmosphere is destroyed. It has to be. It has to be. And has been destroyed. Or maybe, he senses that we're on the danger of, repeating this. Or it's coming to a culmination of events that have been waiting to, be unleashed. A Pandora's box. And man, that I did hear in a dream one time, and I don't know how true this is. I'm guessing on this. Yeah, because I said, how could they freeze over a whole continent? Did this happen, slowly? I mean, how did this happen? And then I was told, what you now call General Motors had, works on refrigerators and appliances. They had something to do with this. Basically, it's one big freezer that's freezing and cooling it, where need be. It will really be dangerous if the ice melts. That's what would be really dangerous. So let's listen.
We should accelerate the
Transition
transition.
to sustainable energy. I mean, the bizarre thing is that obviously we're going to run out of oil in the long term. You know, there's only so much oil we can mine and burn.
Do not hurt the oil or the wine. They got a lot of oil, trust me. Earth blood is oil. And a lot of oil. And the wine, comes from grapes, and vineyards, and makes wine. So, and they were saying AI can essentially tell you where to reap at the harvest and where good soil is, and just remarks on soil, because it is important to have good soil. Like I told you, that parable in Mark chapter 4, I believe, where the parable of the sower. Yeah. And it was like, wow, this really, really, really came true. Really came true. And AI can tell what kind of ground, your harvest is falling upon. Is it being choked out? Is it just good, good seed, good soil, everything good, AI knows it all. I don't know. I don't know how. Like I said, it's indistinguishable from sorcery and witchcraft. And I can't get down with that, bro. I don't care who you are. I wouldn't want you to either. If you care about God's love for you. So here we go.
It's tautological. We must have a sustainable energy transport and energy infrastructure in the long term. So we know that's the end point. We know that. So why run this crazy experiment where we take trillions of tons of carbon from underground and put it in the atmosphere and oceans? This is an insane experiment. It's the dumbest experiment in human history.
What he's saying is, that's an easy way to turn things upside down.
Why are we doing this? It's crazy.
Do you think this is a product of momentum, that we started off doing this when it was just a few engines, a few 100 million gallons of fuel over the whole world, not that big of a deal, and then slowly but surely over a century it got out of control, and now it's not just our fuel, but it's also fossil fuels are involved in so many different electronics, so many different items that people buy.
Yeah, that's where the supercomputer is, the motherboard. I believe that they have Tesla computers. Because one time, I'm going to tell you how I know this. One time, I think those computers went off and were saying something was up down there in the South Pole. And it was like going to cause panic.
There's just this constant desire.
And these computers, use quantum processors to just run through, and develop algorithms and predictions, that are beyond, anything. But it was a panic, and it wasn't true. And I think they were going to say that, the ozone layer was, giving off some kind of code or something. And it's funny, I'm looking at this comment here, and I'm just amazed that people can't recognize or see, that, these comments by these people, and I don't think they're people, man, man, I don't know, man, if they are people, God forgive me, but they say things that doesn't sound like a person. And that's how I know it might, it's a bot. You ever hear those bots like in music videos, like comments? They say 2025 anyone? That's all they say. 2025 anyone? 2024 anyone? And you think to yourself, well, a human would say something like that only if they were interested who's listening. You think AI is doing the same thing? 2025 anyone? Oh my goodness. Gee. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I know that you have to actually be kind of intelligent yourself, or kind of dumb. Either way, what you experience on the internet, is questioning me, have me questioning that this isn't all a lie. I mean, in so many different ways. I know some things aren't a lie, but just like the internet content, I have a hard time believing a lot of it anymore. I don't know. You wonder where these people come from and why they're commenting the way that they are, man. It's so strange. 2025, anyone? Dude, I wouldn't care what song you listen to or what you do, or who's listening or who's commenting. Dude, listen, man. Do your thing, man. It's not my business. It's not my business. 2025, anyone? I go from video to video and I look at the top comment, 2025, anyone? And I look at how the people respond. Yup. Yeah, yup, you're right. Yeah. Hell yeah, dog. Oh my goodness, man. I can't help but just give up, man. I need a break, man, for a little bit, man, because this just gets crazier and crazier every day, and I don't even want to know how fast it's heading and the pace we're at, or what somebody's promising me. I just don't want to hear it, man. I don't care. Leave me alone. Until something happens, leave me alone, man. That's how I feel. Because I don't trust your information, or your truth, but a few people. A few brothers of mine. It's not that I'm even smart. I'm not smart. And I'm not, I'm not dumb either, but at the same time, I'm in tune with my surroundings. I was talking to this dude yesterday, man, at the Y, and he was talking about quantum physics and stuff like that, and I said, "Oh man, you must be one of the guys in the know, He said, "Nah, man, I'm just in tune with my surroundings," and I thought, man, that's pretty good, man. I like that. I like to think of myself as in tune too. I've been wrong quite a few times and been out of touch and out of tune. But he said, yeah, I'm in tune. And usually when you have conversations like the one I was having with him, people call the police on you or, threaten to lock you up or 302 you or something. You're going to get called crazy or looked at crazy. I was thinking, dude, people probably think we're crazy, man. Because of our subject matter. You can't worry about that, though. Oh, here he is. These AI, they got him smiling and all this. They don't have him, looking the way he looked, just a second ago. They got him cheesing and he's cheesing it. Look, he's happy. I like a lighthearted Elon. I like a lighthearted Trump too, but once you make the decision to fully be on board with some of the things he's on board with, and for his motives, and I don't think his motives are very well, and I don't think he understands what it's like to struggle or be poor, and that is a big factor. That's a big factor. Because it takes away his own humanity. His own humanity. He's too busy, like, defending himself. Like, dude, he's talking last night about he had all these votes. They're still counting votes. That's cool, man. But, like, dude, get over it, man. For real. Get over it. Like, move on, man. Stop talking and feeding your ego. He's just stroking his ego right away. He can't help himself. It's so funny. He cannot help himself. He just has to brag. And follow that spirit. The spirit of wickedness. Yeah. The spirit, that I mean, he could fake like it, he feels some kind of way. He can't fake it with me. I'll see right through him. I'll see, or he'll, belittle somebody or something like that. Yeah. In the form of a compliment. It's pathetic, man. It's sad. But hey, all this is prophesied. All you got to do is open up your Bible. Turn to Revelation, turn to, anything, man. Turn to anything, man. Turn to the book of Psalms, turn to the book of Proverbs, read the New Testament, Only 27 books, not much. Know that God hasn't abandoned you. That's a big thing. God is love. God doesn't change, and even though you have your own ideas. This world will give you some ideas that aren't your own, too. And keep that mind, fixed upon the Holy Spirit. But I don't know too many people doing that, do whatever you want to do, Do whatever you want to do. What I do is not what you do. What I have to deal with is not what you have to deal with. And that's why my business is not your business, vice versa. So.
For you. Like I said, it's 100% free. I've been using it.
100% free, yeah. And she's like, what do you not have game or something like that? Girl, listen, I got more game than EA Sports. I will, there is nobody that has game. There are barely people who even hear what you're saying or even can talk to you. Game. It's weird. That's weird too. Don't get me started. I'm getting off here. I'll see you guys later. God bless you. God hasn't given up on you, and God loves you.